So there it is. Apple announced its new iPad Pro on Wednesday with a breakthrough lidar scanner and also brings trackpad support to iPadOS coming soon. So let's break it down and see what you guys can expect from the new iPad Pro and Apple's latest entry into the tablet market. So let's start off right off the bat with some numbers, because numbers are extremely important whenever you're purchasing a new piece of technology. The price and the actual size of these iPads are also extremely important. So right off the bat, Apple's announced two separate iPad Pros, which is true to form. They've always announced at least two different variants for the iPad Pro itself. This year you have an 11-inch version and a 12.9-inch version. Both are slated to start shipping as early as next week. The 11-inch version of the iPad Pro is going to be $799 and the 12.9-inch version is going to be $999 with that extra big screen. I personally love the bigger screen, so the 12.9 inches is probably what I'm going to go for. There's not really any difference other than the screen itself. So if you want more real estate, if you want to do more multitasking, if you want to have more things on screen at once, or if you just want to consume your media on a larger screen, the 12.9-inch iPad Pro is going to be the one for you. But I can definitely see that there is a market for the 11-inch one as well. And it's a lot cheaper than the 12-inch one, so I can see a lot of people also going for it for that specific reason, because price, as I always say, is definitely a feature and it's extremely important. So as for the rest of the video, what I'm going to do is break it down to what's new with the current iPad Pros and what really differentiates them from the older iPad Pros that come out. And what I'm going to do is break it down into category of power. How much more powerful has this iPad Pro gotten? The screen, how much better has the screen gotten itself? The camera, which is extremely important in any kind of mobile device nowadays, and the accessories, what accessories are coming with this brand new iPad Pro. That's going to differentiate it from the older ones that are currently out, and also are your old accessories even compatible with this new one? Let's say if you decide to buy it, can you still use your Apple Pencil? I'm going to answer those questions as well. So let's get right into it, starting with power. So right off the bat, both iPad Pros are going to come with the A12Z Bionic chip, and this chip has an 8-core GPU and a thermal architecture that's going to boost the power of the overall iPad itself. Now, if you couple all of that with the 8-core CPU and Apple's powerful natural engine, the iPad is actually made for the power user. You can edit 4K videos on this. All their augmented reality experiences are going to just be bumped up that much better because you have so much more power with the iPad just to do a lot more things that you weren't able to do before. Everything's going to be buttery smooth. You're going to be able to run all your applications and you're going to be able to multitask the heck out of this device without experiencing any kind of lag. Apple's really kind of pushing this as a laptop, not laptop. So it's a tablet that can do the things of most laptops. What's really going to sell it for a lot of people is if they're able to integrate that power with applications that feel more like desktop applications and not just kind of half of a desktop application, and give you the ability to do a lot more on your iPad. And you also have that brand new lidar scanner, which should be a joy to use on this device, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we start talking about the cameras itself. The bonus is you're also looking at a battery life. They're saying that you're going to get up to 10 hours. You also have fast Wi-Fi and a gigabit class LTE, which is about 60% faster than the current LTE that's out now. So you can see that Apple's kind of put a lot of power into these devices to make them the pro devices that they're supposed to be. Again, like I said, what's going to really differentiate it is if you can have app experiences that feel more like desktop experiences rather than app experiences. I'm looking at you, Adobe. If you have like a Photoshop app and it's a half-assed Photoshop app, it doesn't matter how much power the actual iPad has because that application is not taking advantage of the full power and it still feels like a half version of what you're used to on the desktop. If a lot of these developers are able to bump their applications up to a desktop experience, taking full advantage of this iPad, then you definitely have something extremely powerful and extremely competitive in the tablet slash laptop market. Now, when it comes to the Pro display, there really isn't too much that's changed with these iPads versus what you have with the older iPad Pros. So you're still looking at a liquid retina display for both models, and you have the ProMotion that automatically basically adjusts the frame rate of that up to 120 hertz, depending on the action that's happening on screen. So it's still pretty buttery smooth. You couple that with the power of the iPad itself, I don't think you're going to see too many hiccups. I don't think you're going to see too many slowdowns, but you can't go in and adjust the frame rate yourself. That ProMotion is going to do it automatically. And again, it's going to adjust based on what you're doing. So if you're watching something on screen, watching like a YouTube video or something on Netflix or Hulu, and it's going to adjust accordingly. But if you're just swiping through or surfing through applications, again, it's going to adjust accordingly. So you kind of have to use that machine learning coupled with what your iPad is currently doing, how much stuff is actually running. It's going to take all that information into account and adjust your screen based on all of that. So there hasn't been too much advance in the screen itself. I know a lot of people are looking for a new kind of screen, but we didn't really get that. But I think with the power of the new iPads coupled with that true motion technology, you're going to see a really good screen. The screens have never been really bad anyway, so this is going to be pretty cool to check out. Now, the camera system is where you're seeing the biggest innovation in this iPad. I've always been of the mindset, are cameras really important in a tablet? I posed that question to the community. A lot of you came back with me and said you use your iPad cameras for a lot of different things. So cameras are important with iPads for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people are going to be very happy because Apple seemed to have upgraded and invested a lot in some camera technology for these new iPad Pros. So now for cameras, you're looking at a 12 megapixel wide camera that does shoot 4K, and you have a 10 megapixel ultra wide camera when you need just some more picture in your picture, if that makes sense. But the new iPad also features a lidar scanner in its camera system. So what is a lidar scanner? So a lidar, which stands for light detection and ranging, is a remote sensor method that uses light in the form of pulses and lasers to kind of measure the range and distances between objects. And the iPad camera can actually measure objects within up to 5 meters away. So what you're going to see with this new lidar camera is that it's going to bring a lot of different options to using your camera with the iPad. Now, a lot of people that I've spoken to use their camera for work. So if you're like someone that needs to measure something, you can use a lidar camera, and you're going to see that that measuring application that comes in the iPad works a lot better with this new lidar technology. But you're also going to see that there's probably going to be some really cool AR experiences. Apple's invested a lot into augmented reality, and this lidar camera can definitely take advantage of this because it can measure the different objects in a room and provide you some real life augmented reality situations where you can use, if you're like a designer or somebody that really needs to show models in real life, in real time, in real space, this lidar camera is going to come in handy. Or if you're just a gamer and you like the idea of actually playing games in a real space, this lidar camera is also going to improve augmented reality functions on the iPad tenfold. So I actually can't wait to get my hands on it and see exactly how much improvement we're going to see and how much it's going to come in handy with this new piece of tech. It's very forward thinking for Apple, so I'm looking forward to see what it can do, and hopefully we have some developers out there again that's going to take full advantage of this hardware with the software that they're creating. Now, with all this announced, Apple also announced a brand new piece of accessory for its iPad Pros. Now, the cool thing is, in the announcement video, I saw them using the Apple Pencil, and it looked exactly like the same Apple Pencil. They didn't mention an Apple Pencil 3. It looked like an Apple Pencil 2, and I mentioned this in my previous video where I believe that you're going to be able to use your Apple Pencil 2 on these new iPad Pros. I just think the Apple Pencil 1 didn't really work for the design that they were going with, so they scrapped it. They created the Apple Pencil 2, kind of forced everybody to upgrade if you wanted the new iPad, but I don't think that's going to happen again. I believe your Apple Pencil will work just fine. But they do have a new keyboard case that looks pretty cool, but it's also pretty expensive. So now, the laptop style with a trackpad keyboard case, it's called the new Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro. It's going to be available in May, and it's $299 for the 11-inch model, and it's $349 for the 12.9-inch model. And basically, what's really cool about this is the trackpad gives you the ability to use your mouse cursor on screen of the iPad. So mouse cursor is definitely coming to the iPad OS with an update that's going to be released on March 24th. And this is just another way for Apple to kind of make the iPad more of a laptop competitor. They're adding all that power, they're adding all that functionality, they're adding that new camera system. They're saying that this tablet can do the job of some of the best Windows computers that are currently available on the market. So they're really competing with that laptop space space, the surface space. They really want to get in there, and having this trackpad mouse cursor thing just kind of brings it tenfold and makes it feel a lot more like a laptop. And I'm not gonna lie, the keyboard case actually looks pretty cool. It floats. You can position it in 1,000 different positions. It just looks extremely comfortable to use. The keys are backlit. Everything that you would want in a keyboard case, it looks like it is. I just want to feel the keys. I want to see how comfortable it is to actually type on it. And that price point is actually pretty high, man. It's almost half the price of the iPad itself. So it definitely needs to be worth the cost for me to drop that much money on an accessory to an already expensive device. But all that really matters, guys, is what you think. Which feature are you guys most excited about the brand new iPad Pros? Do you like that lidar camera? Are you interested in that camera system? Are you just interested in the power that this new iPad Pro is offering? Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below the video. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. It definitely helps out the channel. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with that bell for notifications so you don't miss when I release some cool, helpful content like this one. Until then, guys, you can check out this video here. It's some rumors and leaks about the next iPhone that's coming out, and this is something YouTube believes you'd enjoy watching. Thanks again so much for checking out the video. I do appreciate it. And until next time, peace.